Hi, my name is Annette March, and I'm designing this class for my students who have been coming to my session of chair yoga where I live. And I've got a number of advanced students and some beginner students. So I thought I would provide this bit of tutorial to help my beginner students familiarize yourself with alignment related to specific postures. So it's not a comprehensive look at standing poses in chair yoga. It's the practice, the asanas that I integrate into my various classes. So it's not a full class. It's just a way for me to share information with my students or those of you that have never taken a class with me and are interested in learning some basic postural alignment information pieces that will help support you in your practice. So let's get started. I always start my classes on the standing part of my classes with mountain pose Tadasana, because Tadasana is really important. If we think about the qualities of a mountain, stability, strength, all the elements happening around with the mountain is solid, stable. So with mountain pose, we begin with the foundation, our feet. We have a few options with mountain pose in terms of where we place our feet. The two that I present today are the toes touching. The big toes touch, and there's a bit of a space just in the heels. Now, if this doesn't feel stable for you, take a little bit of a wider stance, feet hip width apart. And you maybe notice that I have my chair beside me. I like the chair beside me rather than in front, because if I fall forward, I'm putting strain on my back. But if I happen to lose my balance, I can just simply shift my weight to the side, and that creates some stability without putting any strain on my back. Again, you do what's right for you. This is just how I feel the most comfortable. So with feet hip width apart, we'll begin with this variation of our feet mountain pose. Ground your feet through the mat. Lengthen up through the spine. Draw the navel up and in. So thighs back. So just imagine you're engaging your quadriceps, drawing the thighs back as you lift the belly up. So what we're trying to do is create this alignment in our pelvic bowl so that our butt isn't back or isn't tucked too far forward, but nice and heart is lifted. So if you find that you tend to curl forward, lift the heart up. Now imagine you have an orange under your chin, and you've got to hold that orange in place. So your chin isn't dropped, you're not hyperextended back, but a nice chin tuck. And what that does is it create lengthening in the back of the spine. So if you think about your spine, the nice long spine's got a gentle curvature, but we want to create that length. Imagine there's a cord connected from the top of your head to the ceiling. Lengthen up through the spine. Engage your legs. Relax your arms. Soften your gaze. And just begin to notice. Mountain pose is a grounding pose. Creates stability. And if we incorporate a long, deep breath, we can tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore part of our nervous system, and bring some ease into our being. Mountain pose is a practice that I take with me off the mat into my daily life. So if I wish, when I'm standing in line, if I feel agitated or in a hurry, just ground through mountain pose, take some long deep breaths. Feel your feet as they're connected to the mat beneath you. Engage your thighs. Knees are soft. Navel up and in. Heart lift. Gaze is soft, back of the neck. Staying in mountain pose for just a few long deep breaths. Take a nice long full inhale. A full and complete exhale. At your pace, inhaling and exhale. And then opening your eyes if you've closed them and coming back in. So mountain pose, foundational pose for all of our other postures. I also incorporate, even though mountain pose is a balanced pose, I like to bring a couple of balanced poses into my classes. As we age, balance becomes more and more critical. And so what can we do to help support our balance through the course of our lives? One of my go-tos is called tightrope. Tightrope is good because it's a simple pose, but it helps to cultivate that sense of balance. So we'll begin. I'm running a little ahead of myself there. Begin by dropping your weight, just shifting your weight into the leg closest to the chair. That might be right, it might be left for you. Closest to the chair. Then the opposite foot comes in front. So if you imagine you're on a tightrope, you want to be able to keep your feet one in front of the other. And then feet just gently rock back and forth. Feel that distribution of weight in your feet. And then come settling in, equal distribution of weight on front and back foot. Squeeze the thighs together, draw the navel up. We want to create the sense of groundedness in our lower body as we lift our heart. Chin is in, so take that orange, tuck it under your chin. Imagine there's that cord from the top of your head to the ceiling, lengthening out the spine. And then you have the option of inhaling one hand heart or both hands. Now we keep the feet rooted in the floor, thighs squeezing together, but try to maintain the sense of relaxation. And then let's bring that long, deep breath, long, full inhale, full, complete exhale, feeling your exhale, bring the arms down, and then we can switch sides. And we're going to do both sides today, just so that as you're practicing with me, you get that sense of balance. We don't want to just do one side and then not the other. So coming again, distributing your weight, and the chair is there for support. If you don't need the chair, just bring your weight to your standing leg. Other foot goes in front. I like the chair to begin, just to help me get that sense of stability. Feet pressed into the floor, into the mat. Lift your toes, drop your toes. Gently roll your weight forward and back. Feel the distribution of weight. Press your feet into the floor. Squeeze the thighs together. Engage your quadriceps. Now imagine you're drawing the navel up and in. Heart is lifted. Chin is in. Back of the neck is long. That gentle tug of the head lifting you up, lengthening your spine. Inhaling, hands to heart, one or both. Always have the option of keeping one hand down. It's better to work on the stability component of this pose with one hand supporting you than to be rocking mercilessly to this lack of balance by trying to do prayer pose with your hands. So hand can gently rest chair. Long, full inhale, full, complete exhale. Gaze is soft, looking down if you're comfortable. Learning to draw your senses inward, pratyahara, the withdrawing of the senses from the outside world. And then we begin to tune in to our inner landscape, tuning into ourselves. Exhale, shake the arms, shake the legs. And then we're going to switch sides again. Second balance pose that I like to bring to my classes as a standard asana in yoga is tree pose. Tree pose, supported with the chair, acknowledging, recognizing that coming into the full tree with our foot up by our groin isn't maybe available for all of us. It certainly has never been available for me. That's not something that I've been able to do in my practice. What can I do? We begin by dropping our weight into our supported leg, the leg closest to the chair. Then just lift that other knee up and turn it out to the side. And allow that foot to come down. So I'm starting this way because I want you to feel that sense of openness in the hips, in the groin area, like opening up. If your knee is forward, that might mean that you have a really tight hip. So just see what's available in terms of opening to the side. And your toe can stay on the mat if you wish. That's a variation, that's a way to support yourself in tree pose without feeling like you're at the mercy of the elements again and rocking in the wind and with no stability. We don't want that sense that we're going to fall. We want to feel grounded and stable. your foot pressed into the floor. You can come up with one hand on the chair and try that, or you can just keep your toe down, inhaling one hand or both down. Feel that engagement of your standing leg. Draw the navel up and in. Drop your attention down to the navel. The navel is considered our power center. So we drop the attention down. The gut mind power of our center in the yoga tradition is called Manipura. In the martial arts, they talk about Hara, the center. So we drop down to our center, creates a sense of groundedness and stability as we breathe long and deep. Chin is in, back of the neck is long. Notice the quality of your breathing. Try to smooth out the breath. And you can look at a spot on the floor, just maintaining that sense of groundedness, stability. Exhale. And you may have also noticed these slight micro movements just to help. The body's always working to keep us balanced. So we just be present for that. And there's this beauty in creating this and cultivating this presence that we can see the miracle of our being in terms of how our bodies and our brains are always working to help create that sense of stability within. Switching sides. Tree pose, opposite side. So we begin by bringing our weight into the standing leg. Feel the standing leg foot as it pressed to the mat. Engage that quadricep, draw the navel up and in, and just take that opposite knee, turn it out to the side and bring it down. Toes can rest gently on the mat, or you can bring your foot up to your calf. You decide. If your hip just jutted right out, bring it back in. We want a nice long spine. And then inhale, hands to heart. Nice and long. Keep the breath long and smooth. Eyes are soft, looking at a spot on the floor in front of you. Tune into your breath. Long, full inhale, full, complete exhale. Exhale, come on the pose. Shake the arms, shake the legs. Now we'll move into another common asana posture called the triangle pose. Triangle pose supported with the chair. And I personally teach 2 variations of triangle pose to help individuals determine what supports them best in terms of their own flexibility and their ability to keep that integrity of the pose without compensating for tight hips or other tight muscles in the body. So we begin with, I'm going to start with my left foot forward and right foot back. And you may notice, if you look at my feet, that my front foot is aligned with the back leg of my chair. My opposite foot is out, just maybe a bit more than hip width apart. Feet grounded into the mat. Draw the navel up and in. Heart is lifted, so we still want those mountain pose legs. Engage your quadriceps. Now notice if your foot is out too much to the front or out too much behind. One way that we can make that alignment is to make a letter T with our feet, with the front heel aligned with the middle of the back foot, and then just gently step back. But we want that alignment, front heel aligned with the middle of the back. Feet grounded in, draw the navel up and in. Inhale the hands out to the side. Relax the shoulders, lift, a gentle lift of the head. On your exhale, we hinge at the hips. Reach towards the seat of the chair. The back of the chair, not the seat. And then when you can't hinge anymore, let that left hand down, and your right hand floats up. Notice if, in order to reach your right hand up, you curl forward, and then just gently open. Open and lift. Keep the feet grounded into the mat. Heart is open. Looking up at your hand if you wish. Now to come out of this pose, bend the front knee and kind of push yourself up with your legs rather than exhale down, rather than using your back. We want to protect our back, so we push back up with the quadricep of the bent knee. Coming with the foot. I have a bar on the bottom of my chair, but I like to tuck my toes just right under the seat of the chair. So this one takes a little more flexibility. This variation or option within triangle pose with a chair takes a little more flexibility. So again, alignment of the feet, front foot pointed towards the chair, back foot is turned out, heel aligned with the midstep, your front foot. Draw the navel up and in, engage the thighs, inhale the arms out to the side. On the exhale, hinge at the hips. When you can't hinge anymore, let that left hand down onto the seat of the chair this time as your right hand floats up. Now, what I often see happen is this curling forward, because we need to curl forward to get down. If you're finding that's the case for you, then I would invite you to consider doing the way we did it the first time, with your arm and your hand up on the seat of the chair. The back of the chair, rather. The seat of the chair is good if you're flexible and you can maintain the integrity of the posture by the chest. Bend the front knee, inhale, come up, exhale, arms down, feet are switching sides. Doing both options here as well. And I'm sure there's different ways to do this pose with the chair. These are the ones that I find work best in my classes, the way I like to teach. But again, there's so much variation in yoga. There's often, there's the integrity of the pose, and then there's how people adapt the pose to make it work for them. Make it work for you. Front foot aligned with the back leg of the chair. Make that letter T with your feet and just step back. Feet are more than hip width apart. Press the feet into the mat. Draw the navel up and in. Engage those quadriceps. Nice mountain pose foundation. Inhale the arms out to the side. Relax the shoulders. Imagine you have that orange under your chin. And then hinging at the hips, you're reaching. You're hinging at this hip crease towards the chair. Put your hand on the back of the chair. This time the left arm floats up. Engage those legs, feet pressed into the floor, thighs back, lift the navel up. Lengthen up through the reaching, opening up the left side body. And breathe. Notice the quality of your breathing here. Keep the breath long and sweet. Bend the front knee. Inhale up. Exhale. Foot now to the middle. So I've got it aligned, the seat of the chair. I want to take the middle. That's where my foot's going to go. Tucked underneath if possible. If you have a bar like me, just at the bar. T, step back. Feet pressed into the floor. Heart is lifted. Navel up and in. Orange under your chin to make that back of the neck long. Inhale the arms out to the side. Exhale, reach towards your chair, hinging at the hips. When you can't reach anymore, that hand goes down. Opposite arm floats up. And you can have your fingertips touching the chair, your palm. Just notice. Again, if you tend to curl forward, that means you're really tight. Then this option maybe will come later once you build that flexibility. This is really stretching out the hip, reaching up. Triangle pose is a grounding pose. We're strengthening our thighs, our ankles. Lengthening the side body, bend the front knee. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Now we're going to do a few variations of the warrior poses, beginning with warrior one. But let's take a moment just to settle in and notice how you're feeling. Is this too much? You need to pause your video, take a moment, get your breath, get a glass of water. What do you need in this moment? Just take that. And then when you're ready, you've turned off your video, come back, and let's begin with warrior one. We think about the warrior poses. And they stimulate digestion, they build strength and stability. So now I invite you to take your chair and bring it to the front of your mat. Front of the mat, feet forward. So notice if you have the habit of having your feet turned out to the side or turned too far in. Feet forward. Remember mountain pose legs. Engage those legs. With warrior one, we're going to step back with our right leg. Bring our left leg forward. And then we're going to bend the front knee. The left knee is bent. Checking the alignment, the back foot is turned out slightly. Pressing into that back thigh, opening up the heart, lifting. Now, with warrior one, we want our hips forward. So taking your hips and then slowly bringing them to the front. I'm just scooting my left leg out a little bit, give myself a bit more space so that my hips can turn forward. Things are feeling tight today. So just notice how you're feeling, hands on your hips. And then just imagine you've got two headlights. So just take that assessment of yourself. Like, are my hips pointing out to the side, or are they pointing out to the front? Pressing into that back leg, front knee is bent, front knee over ankle. That's really important when we're in a bent knee pose. We want to protect our knees by providing that stability of the knee over the ankle. Feel your foot in the mat, knee over ankle, hips are forward. Inhale, arms come up. And just exhale here, feel your breath, feel your body, feel the strength that's cultivated with this particular warrior pose. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, inhale, bend the front knee, hold and breathe. Hands are reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale, and then step forward. Other side. Drop your weight into your standing leg. Back foot is turned out. Front knee is bent. Inhale, lengthen up. Take your hands on your hips, rotate your hips forward. Knee over ankle. You might have to scoot that foot a little forward if you need. Go ahead. Lengthen up through the spine. Hands on hips, bringing those headlights forward. Pressing back foot, back leg presses back. Engaging that left quadricep this time, creating stability in your lower body. Inhale the arms out. And breathe. Inhale, you feel this lengthening and reaching. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bring the arms down. Inhale up and breathe. Exhale. Gently step forward. Take a moment in mountain pose. Feet press into the mat. Thighs back, navel up and in, heart is lifted. Breath is long and smooth. Next is warrior two. Similar to warrior one, we step back a little further with warrior two. Front foot is forward. Check the alignment of your back foot, heel, and step of the back foot. This time our body is more forward. Knee is bent, pressing your feet into the mat. Heart is lifted, chin is slightly gently tucked in. Inhale the arms out to the side, relax the shoulders. So what I see sometimes in classes is arms out like this. So have the left arm aligned with the left knee that is bent. Right arm is straight across. And then if you have a shoulder issue and you need to drop that arm, go ahead. If it's available to you, lengthen up. I want a nice straight line right across. Now take your left fingers, curl them towards you. Left thumb is up. Allow that softening into the pose, sinking into the front foot, pressing with the back leg, looking out over your thumb. The warrior series of the big strength. in the legs, the ankles, the calves. We're cultivating concentration by staring at our thumb. Fingertips curl towards you, allow the energy to flow back into you. Now inhale that left hand up. We're going to come into, it's called reverse warrior or exalted warrior, where we're going to reach up and over with our left hand as our right arm drops down. Staying with the front, the left knee is bent, opening up the side body, looking forward. Now you can look up past your left armpit and breathe. Notice your breath, notice how you're feeling. Challenging pose, just stay for a breath or two. We're going to move into extended side angle supported by the chair. So we're going to reach up, inhale, the left arm will float down onto the upper back of the chair as your right arm floats up and over, looking up past your right armpit. After you've done this for a while and you're comfortable with the alignment in this posture, you can bring the left arm down onto your thigh and open. Just notice what you feel. Stay within your capacity. No strain, no pain. Yoga can be a gentle, supportive practice. We want to avoid overdoing things so that we can avoid injury. Inhale, press in the front foot. Inhale up. Exhale down. Here. Take a step. Changing sides. So we're going to take our chair, move it right side of our mat. So when I say right, so if my mat is lengthwise, my chair is to my right. My right foot is forward. My back foot is out. A more, probably about 3 feet. But again, it varies from person to person. You can tell I have short, really solid legs. So my stance might be different than if you're long and lean with long legs. So know it works for your physicality of what works for you. My foot is forward. Now we're going to move into warrior one on the right side. So we're going to bend the front knee. We're going to slowly rotate our hips forward. I'm scooting my foot over a little bit to the right to create some space so that my hips can roll forward. My back foot is turning out just so that I have, again, more space. Press with that back thigh. Inhale, heart is lifted. Exhale. When you're ready, inhale, the arms up. Now you may find that you only want one arm up, that you value the support of the chair being handy, that it actually helps to create that sense of groundedness and stability that's needed for a pose like this. We don't want to be wavering and faltering in our pose. Feet are pressed into the mat, thigh is back. Your left thigh presses back, your front knee is over your ankle. Exhale, straighten the front knee. Inhale, arms up again. Bending that front knee, lengthening up. Notice if you lean forward, try to lengthen up. So we're bending the knee, but the body, as much as possible, is staying upright. Nice long line. Exhale, straighten the front. Bring the feet forward. Take a little pause. Just notice your breath. Warrior two. And with warrior two, I seamlessly, almost smoothly transition into exalted reverse warrior and extended side. You can take your time and do these one at a time, really developing that sense of, yeah, I've got this, or you can follow along. You're always welcome to pause at any time, making this time supportive of what you need today. Right foot forward, left foot back, right knee over ankle. Warrior two. So we begin by getting that, lifting the navel up. Back thigh presses back, front knee over ankle, inhale the arms. Looking out past your right hand this time. Right thumb up, right fingers curl towards you. Relax the shoulders. So sometimes our shoulder can jet up. Just see if you can bring some relaxation into the right shoulder. Lengthen out behind you with the left hand. Again, if you have a shoulder issue and it hurts to bring your arm up, let the arm soften to where it feels comfortable for you. Like we don't want it, we don't want to hurt. Look out past your right thumb, looking out at your thumb, and breathe. Engage your legs. Feel your feet pressed into the mat. Focusing on the right thumb, learning to build that capacity for concentration. Another important limb of yoga. Reaching that right palm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, so keep the front knee bent. We're inhaling that right arm up and over into exalted or reverse warrior. Your left leg is pressed back this time. Your left arm down, you're looking up, reaching, lengthening, opening up the right side body. And then when you're ready, inhale up, bring your right arm on the back of the chair. Let your left arm float up and over into extended side angle. Left palm faces down. Left leg is pressed back. So we're creating this lengthening on the left side, reaching and holding and breathing. And it's your practice supports it. You can bring that arm down onto your thigh, opening up. So if you curl forward, gently open, chest forward, heart. Lead with your heart. Inhale, press up. Exhale, arms down. Take a moment, come back in the mountain pose. Feet pressed into the mat, thighs back, navel up and in, heart is lifted. We're going to do chair pose standing. So I teach chair pose seated. We could also do chair pose standing. So we begin, we're going to turn to the side. Begin with the mountain pose legs, feet pressed into the floor, heart is lifted, chin is in. Imagine that cord connected from your head to the ceiling. Inhale the arms up overhead, and then slowly bring them out in front of you. Relax the shoulders, just feel that. And then on the exhale, bend your knees, push your hips back like you're closing a drawer behind you, and come into chair. So you're imagining you're sitting into a chair as much as you can. Draw the navel up and in. And breathe. Feet are pressed into the mat. Heart is lifted. So if you've curled forward to go lower, sure. But if we want this to maximize this pose, keep the heart lifted. Inhale, reach up, straighten the legs. Exhale. Now we can do chair standing with our arms up by our ears. Inhale the arms up. Relax the shoulders. Feet into the mat, thighs back. Navel gently lifted. Lengthening up through the spine. As you exhale, close the door behind you. Bend forward. Keep the arms as much as possible by your ears. Again, chest is lifted. So if you've curled forward to go lower, lift up, lengthen, drop at the hips. It's the hips that are sinking down, not the upper body. Inhale up, exhale. Shake the arms, shake the legs. And the last pose that I'll do today for this particular series is locust. So similar to chair pose, locust requires that bringing the hips back behind you. So lengthen up through the spine. Inhale the arms up, overhead. Turn the palms out. Exhale. Bend the knees. Your palms face one another behind you. Bend the knees. Draw the navel up and in. Knees over ankles as much as possible. So you're pushing back with the hips. Draw the navel up. Back of the neck is long. Engage those arms, fingertips pointing behind you. Looking down at your chair in front of you. Cultivate your focus. Press your feet into the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Here are just a few standard common poses that I do in my chair yoga class. There's a number of other poses that we can do, and that I will provide another instructional video for later. But I think for today, these create the sense perhaps of confidence in coming to my class if you're in my city, Regina, Saskatchewan. When you have a familiarity with the basic alignment of the posture, then you can relax into the pose and come along for the ride. So that's the class for today. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you checking out this class. I know some of my students were really happy. I had put a 30-minute seated class on my website for Christmas, and this will be on my website for about a month or so, maybe longer if I feel that students really appreciate and use the session. If it's not helpful, then that's okay. But I want it to be useful to you. So thank you all for checking this out. And who knows, maybe I'll see you in a class someday. I'll be offering an online chair yoga class coming up in the next few weeks. So maybe stay on the lookout for that. And namaste.